Hi everyone. You might notice that I have a new co-host sitting beside me. We have a new competition going on in the NLA office, and it is that whoever has the most views on their version of the 8 at the end of this will get to have a spot.
I'll be campaigning heavily so that I win that contest, which probably will happen anyway. See all the people booing in the background? Whatever. I'm elevating the status of this with good looks and charm. So, hi.
Troy, 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 Troy,
It's my new theme song.
All right, well now that that happened, we are kicking things off with Frantastic.
Hashtag new theme song.
You can tell us if you like it. Head to our Facebook or Twitter pages. So for this week's Frantastic, there's a brilliant new campaign out there called Le Petit Chef from Skull Mapping. It's a projection on a plate that's a dinner experience for people that has this little tiny chef popping out and is preparing their meal from a projection. It's really cool to see. It's a really awesome way that technology and restaurants are colliding, which is something that we talk a lot about here on the 8, and it's going to be exciting to see.
The digital world is taking over everything, and that includes food as well. I think we've seen technology play a bigger and bigger role. A lot of folks in the technology space, I think, are finding opportunities in the restaurant space, so there's a lot more conglomeration, I think, to come there.
It's going to be exciting to see.
It is.
All right, moving on to Franlebrity. It is Steve Begelman from SMB Franchise Advisors. We had the chance to sit down with him this past week while we were on the road at IFE, and he was able to provide some insight as to what prospective franchisees should look for in an FDD when they're taking a look to see if if an opportunity is the right fit for them. So you can head to their 1851 page to check it out.
And one point I know he always stresses is don't look nationally, look state by state. There's a lot of different regulations that matter from state to state. Where you're setting up makes a big difference in your strategy moving forward. So one big key takeaway from that interview.
That's good insight. On to Fresh Money. So when it comes to finding the right franchise, we currently have our guide to buying franchise up on 1851's main site. And in terms of figuring out how much it'll cost you to open up a specific concept, you really need to have a good grasp on items 5 through 7 of an FDD.
It's an interesting thing because the number one question everybody always asks when they open an FDD is, how much money can I make? Where can I find that in there? So obviously everybody flips to item 19. It's just as critical, how much money is this going to cost me? Where is my return on investment going to happen? These are important questions that need to be asked along the way, so don't skimp on the early parts of an FDD because they're critically important just as the item 19 is.
Yeah, you're going to need to spend it to earn it. So.
Absolutely.
All right, on to the Frant. Nick has a new column up on 1851 that explains that 99% of brands don't have a vital growth ingredient, which is their overall brand positioning. It's really important for concepts to be able to sell beyond just their product and their services and what they're really all about as a whole.
That comes with brand definition. I mean, it's really what we do here on a day-to-day basis. We're trying to create brand identity. Really, when you think about it, what's the difference between a cheeseburger at place A and place B? The feeling that you have with the brand behind it. Now, of course, quality matters, particularly in the food space, but it really comes down to branding and the feeling and the connection that you have with a brand. All of that is created in Nick's column, really goes into a lot of how that is created in the back end.
Absolutely. Now we are franching forward with Famous Toastery. The brand is on pace to triple its size by the end of 2017. They're planning to open up 10 more stores, and they have a goal of signing 15 deals that will lead to a total of 75 restaurants. So it's going to be exciting to watch this better breakfast brand kind of expand outside of its home base in the Northeast.
2 observations. A, their food is really, really, really good. And B, this is a massively fast-growing segment, and they really have found, I think, the secret sauce to what makes this segment run. It's really going to be exciting to see where this brand goes, particularly in the next 18 to 24 months. There's a lot of momentum around the segment itself, and Famous Toastery really has honed in, I think, on what people are really responding to in that space.
All right, now on to the Fran Funny. We might be living in 2017, but there are some people out there that are already living in 3017, so check out a few of our favorite memes of people that are just really innovating and paving the way for us. All right, and on to Franspiration. This is from Scott Oakes featuring Fran Elmo, hashtag RIP. Dressed for the job.
Sounds like a rap group, doesn't it? Scott Oaks featuring
Fran
Fran Elmo.
Elmo. He's about to drop a new fire
love
single
it.
on
I love it.
1851.
Yeah.
To see you laughing in the purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain.
All right, dress for the job you want, not the job you have. It's a lot of words of wisdom, and that nugget came from your interview with Scott Oaks at IFE.
It did. It's actually a fairly in-depth interview on real franchising topics with a little bit of fun thrown in. And that actually is good advice.
It is.
Dress for the job you want. Scott didn't, but
But it still worked out in
it
his
did.
favor.
It did.
All right, now for Franemies versus Frans, we have another Fran, or at least I'm going to call them a Fran. I think it depends on your taste. But Burger King is rolling out a Lucky Charms Shake LTO that's going to be available this summer. I'm into it.
I'm heavy Frans with that.
All right, well,
How can you go wrong?
how can you be mad at that? I think it's going to be pretty dope.
Oh, you just missed an opportunity to say, I think it's going to be magically delicious. Cassie. Branding, come on.
Sorry, maybe I'm the one that's going to get kicked off the 8 at the end of this.
Best 8 ever.
Bye.